You are at the island at the end of the world. Welcome to beautiful Key West, Florida. This is an island where somebody's come to be nobodies, and every nobody is somebody. Currently, the billionaires are chasing out the millionaires because it's paradise. So we'll go hit Duval Street real quick, and I'll show you the area that the nightlife takes place. World famous Duval Street, Sloppy Joe's on the left, Rick's and Dirty Harry's on the right. More bars than churches, but the churches are equally spaced between the bars in Key West. So you can do all your sinning on Saturday night and go to church on Sunday morning. The things that we do down here in the Keys is drinking, scuba diving, and fishing. If you're not into drinking, scuba diving, and or fishing, probably not a good place for you. If you have any kind of malady or problem, Key West will exacerbate that about tenfold. So if you come down here with a drug or alcohol problem, it'll chew you up and spit you out. And I mean that in the most sincerest way. As far as the community goes, yeah, it's one of the most unique communities on the planet because, well, nobody gives a damn. You can show up to a 4-star restaurant wearing Jesus cleats, cut off shorts, and a tank top. Totally acceptable. Here's the number one cause of issues. Some dude in a golf cart who can't get out of his own way and coming around the corner. Your battery's dead, dude. This is where the weird turn pro. People come down there and they just forget where they are and they lose their minds. Key West is actually pretty patriotic. For how liberal Key West can be, it's actually very patriotic. You'll see the Conch Republic flag. During the late 80s, Key West had what's called a secession, where they seceded from the continental United States. OGAs or other government agencies were trying to counteract the drug war, the cocaine cowboys and all that, and they basically blocked off Key West. So back in the day, a couple of county commissioners got together and said, all right, we're going to secede from the Union, then we're going to give up, and you're going to have to support us. So the Conch Republic was actually born. We got our own flags. We have our own passports. It was a bunch of rebels in the beginning, and now every year to commemorate that, in April, we have what's called the Bloody Battle, and we reenact the day of the Conch Republic seceding from the continental United States by throwing bread, Cuban bread, and toilet paper. And of course, again, it's all centered around drinking, so you go out, get liquored up, start launching Cuban bread and tomatoes at, active warships in the Conch Republic. We have one festival that happens in October called Fantasy Fest. You have 50,000 naked people walking around on Duval Street. When I say 50,000 naked people, they're naked. Nothing but body paint. For a lot of people, myself included, it's home. It has been home for 30 years, but you always have to be prepared for the island to kick you off. It's like an episode of Lost. That's what I always compare it to. The smoke monster one day will come up and go, your time is done. Hold on 1 second, I gotta take this call.
Hi, good afternoon.
What's going on, Miss Shannon?
Hey, how are you, Chuck?
I'm well. What can I do you 4 out of?
We have a family of raccoons that have moved into our house.
Shoot me an address, and when I get back to the casa, we'll go into Team Critter Getter and see if we can't figure out how to solve your coon problem.
That sounds great, Chuck. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem. We'll talk to you on the other side. Man of many hats, a critter getter, Viking pirate, minister, motivational speaker, reality TV guy, birthdays, bachelor parties, bar mitzvahs, weddings, the whole 9 yards. Trash panda removal specialist, iguana assassin, several of the bigger named hotels call us when they have non-indigenous invasive species that need to be removed. One of the jobs, I remove iguanas. Iguanas are a non-indigenous invasive species set for eradication. And there's iguana right in front of you in the road. See it? There's your B-roll. Like in this little spot out here, there's 4 or 5 of them that are just sitting right there in that field. There's one on that log right over there. You see them all over the place, if you know what you're looking for. There's no predation for iguanas, so they just lay waste to all kinds of stuff. And when people come down here, they believe, well, they're from here. Iguanas are cool until they become 3, 4, 5 foot. They have the ability to take over your porch, your patio, your pool, rape your cat, and bite your kid. Once they do stuff like that, they quit being cool. So on the right is going to be the Naval Air Station Truman Annex. The southernmost point of the continental United States is this big giant piece of concrete. You have lines of people to get out there and want to take their pictures with the southernmost point of the continental United States. The secret about that is go there like after 5 o'clock and you'll get a picture. You can avoid the lines.
Chuck, can I ask about the leg? How did that happen?
I was blown up 3 times in the same day. Hell, I've been blown up 6 times in my life, 3 of them in the same day. I was working as a security contractor in Iraq. I was a rescue swimmer in the Navy. Got out after I did my tour in the military. Became a skydiving hippie. Lived in a van down by the riverside, jumped out of airplanes. not a financially responsible move, but it was fun. Then I came back and became a firefighter on the base. At night I ran a strip club to go through the police academy, became a deputy sheriff in Monroe County. Quit being a deputy sheriff and I went overseas as a security contractor. A friend of mine offered me a job, and financially it was the right thing to do because I had a daughter at the time that needed to have her needs taken care of, and my caveman thinking mind said this is probably the best thing that I can do to support my family financially. October 11th at 11:11 a.m. It's kind of funny how you remember the exact time you got your ass handed to you, I guess. I hit an IED. I had a partner that was my linguist or my interpreter on the right side. I lost my leg. He lost his right arm. A buddy of mine came and got me out of the truck. The second IED went off and they were daisy chained. Another friend of mine lost his life getting my partner out of the truck. Well, that was the last day I had technically 2 working legs, I guess. I attempted to keep my leg. It was removed. They slapped it back on. I, being a pig-headed, stubborn ox of a man, attempted to keep my leg. So every time I'd effectively take a step, I'd break my leg again. After I had my leg amputated, for me, the pain actually went away. And I'm still doing the stuff that I used to do. I ain't doing as fast or as cool as I used to do it, but I'll still do it. So this is one of the oldest beaches in Key West. It's at the end of the runway. So when you come down here and you see the road that's blocked off, this used to be US 1. And it's kind of a private beach. It's more for locals. You don't get a lot of tourists out here. Sea turtles come up here on this part of the beach and they lay their eggs. It's one of those little off the beaten path hidden hideaways. So one of the funny parts about the end of this road is it's also a nude beach. But everybody knows it. You go past the last telephone pole and be careful what you wish for, because there's people walking around there just tanning their can and that's all they got on. Just hanging in the sand. All of this down here, this is where I come and give my bike ride and a workout and do my little evening set, my ride at 5. I do lift rocks and I lift goddamn whatever I got down there. It's all natural. If I get an old foam pole that washes up, I pick it up and do a couple of reps with it. When you're down here and the mosquitoes are bad, you get to slap the dog shit out of your own self, which is awesome. Therapeutic too. My wife pulled me out of a damn grave when I was very confused and didn't know what the heck was up. She took it upon herself to get me back up to speed 100%, so I owe her being able to be on top of my game as much as I can be and supporting her with everything that she does and we do, and that's how we keep the ball rolling. But there ain't no damn better place to work out. I mean, look at the view. You've got $1 million view sitting right here. The water is bathtub warm, probably about 80 degrees. It hurts a lot more now than it used to, but getting old ain't for pussies. That's the jet taking off at the other runway. You'll probably see him come over right there, going straight up, F-18. So the MiG that you just saw is one of the reasons that I came down here when I was younger. I was in the Navy, and this is my next to last duty station, NAS Key West Boca Chica. And this is where the Navy does a lot of its winter Top Gun training. Well, that is the end of the airfield right there. And everything you see on the left-hand side is also still Navy base. It's owned by the Navy. They saw a Russian submarine that was up in the Key Largo area. And the ideology that you have a Russian nuclear sub that has the ability to possibly launch nuclear missiles sitting off of Key West, well, they can get anywhere, they can hit anywhere that they want to in the continental United States. Kind of scary. Bad leadership or weak leadership will allow shit like that to happen because it's the bully in the schoolyard theory. If you don't do anything to tell them no, other than say, no, you shouldn't do this, they probably won't listen to you. We've been more divided as a country in reference to current leadership, which in my opinion is little or nothing, and previous leadership, which the guy made mean tweets and hurt feelings. But that again is where we're at in the world right now. Everybody wants to be sensitive as the day is long, and they can't take a damn joke or they get their feelings hurt.
How do you feel about Bud Light at the moment?
It'd be a cold, refreshing beverage. I don't drink it though. I don't support a whole lot of things that have gone woke. Not my forte. Budweiser in and of itself was an icon, especially for true Americana. It's right up there with baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. I don't know that I would have a trans man in a dress telling college boys that they need to drink Bud Light. It was part of the whole we need to be inclusive, diversity, equity, inclusion campaign that's going on in the United States right now. You can have whatever choice that you want to, but when you start shoving stuff down my neck, there'll be a little bit of a pushback. There's been a lot of other things beyond that have left me scratching my head going, really? You didn't see that coming? What would Chuck's message to the world be? We're one of the best places to live ever, unless you've lived here. And then you'll come up with, this place sucks, it's oppressive, blah, blah, blah. Well, my message to the world is get out and travel. Go out and travel and see what somebody who's actually oppressed. We have a communist country 80 miles that away, and people are living hand to mouth on trying to figure out what their next meal is going to be. I can move around freely and go anywhere that I want to and do basically what the hell ever I want as long as I'm a nice guy, not doing criminal shit. When I got blown up in 2006, I was just sitting there and had a big case of I'm feeling sorry for myself. Had two legs for 36 years, and now all of a sudden I'm looking down and I'm missing one. It's not, it's not attached to anything. My world just changed. And then I looked over next to me in the same medevac airplane that was going to Longstuhl, Germany, and there's a guy sitting there with no arms, no legs, and he's got burns over 90% of the rest of his body. At that second, I just said, I ain't doing that damn bad. One of my buddies in Iraq said it the best. He goes, every day's a blessing and every meal's a feast. And if you look at every day being a blessing, you wake up in the morning and you suck up that first good set of oxygen, you have your cup of coffee, you realize that you're doing better than most of the rest of the world. I mean, I don't got bugs in the house. The air conditioning's still in. The house ain't on fire. My neighbor's house ain't on fire. I'm doing pretty damn good. Because I can always find somebody who's doing worse off than I am. You can find somebody that is doing a whole lot worse than you are, or you can sit there and you can bitch and complain about it, but who's going to listen to that shit anyway? So drive the hell on, do the next damn right thing, get out and improve your situation. And you're responsible for your own situation. If you don't improve it, nobody's going to improve it for you. So you have a couple of options. You can sit there and bitch about it and do nothing. You can bitch about it and you can do something, or you can just sit there and go crazy. If I'm going to bitch about something, I'm also going to do something about it. Well, you're in my house. Watch out for our little gecko. This is Percy's husband. This is Casa de Dallas and Chuck, Rancho Relaxo South. Looks over beautiful NAS Boca Chica. So we got the bay, we got the backyard, we got a nice plain view of our lagoon in the back, and all the airplanes that come off of Boca Chica, and then here in about an hour, you'll probably hear them returning back to base. Says she has a mama coon and baby coons.
Do we need to remove them? Here.
Possibly.
We don't get a lot of raccoons or possums, really. Mostly iguanas are the big problem. I man the traps. Chuck, well, he goes with me. He does mostly the shooting for the iguanas. You know, I shoot them as well, but usually if it's just a one or something, he does that. And I do all the trapping.
You ready to go do some gun stuff? I'll clean up the office real quick. This is the man cave or the office. Runs Trinity Force Protection, Defiant Pest Control, and everything else that we do. Like I said before, Viking Pirate Minister, Motivational Speaker. And you've never done this before, correct? Good, so I got a blank slate. So you have two types of guns in front of you. You have a revolver, and you have semi-automatics. The revolver versus the semi-automatic. Simpler, safer firearm, longer, stronger trigger pull. Semi-automatic is easier to load, comes as a magazine-fed pistol. So the ones that I've picked out for you today is the 357/38 revolver and the 1911 style 22 TCM. The 3 rules of gun safety, first and foremost, is don't point the gun at anything you don't want to go away. 1, you have to remove all cats from the table because cats like to get into the way of your gun learning and stuff like that because they think that they need all the attention all the time. So this trigger pull is about 10 pounds. So you're not going to accidentally pull the trigger on a revolver. Or I can rock the hammer back, which moves the trigger mechanism. So what happens at that point? The trigger works. I'm going to give you the gun. You're going to point it straight up in the air. You're going to look at me. You're going to smile for a second. And then you're going to put your finger in the trigger. And you're going to pull the trigger all the way. There you go. Now, rock the hammer back. Good. And pull the trigger. Feel it. All right. So you can put it on the table. Most of the females that I teach, when I'm teaching women, I have to teach them how to shake a hand. So your handshake, if a man did that to me, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Keep your arm straight just like that. Now you see your trigger fingers out. If somebody back home wants to squish your hand, point your finger straight out. They can't do it because you've aligned the muscles and the bones in your hand. And it doesn't matter how hard I try to switch and squeeze your hand, it doesn't hurt. Give me the limp wrist again. Now I can do this and I can move your hand where I need it to go, right? That's the difference. Did you feel the difference? Good. So when you grab a gun, grab it by the handle, all the way down, wrap 3 fingers around it. Boom. Your other hand can do the I'm a little teacup approach, just like this. When somebody says high capacity magazine, that means anything over 10 rounds. People go, well, why do you need that many? Well, we don't know. How many criminals are going to come and attack you? I carry a gun 365, 24/7. I've been attacked a couple of times. You know what stopped it? Me and a gun. You see the buffalo horn right up there, the tip of the buffalo horn? You see that? Your thumb is covering that little horn? So take your hand, make a little bitty triangle. Take both hands, make a little bitty triangle. Bring it all the way back, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back, all the way back. So you are right eye dominant. That being said, you need to focus on the front sight, which is this portion of the pistol, with your right eye. So give me the 3 rules of gun safety. What are they?
You gotta hold it properly.
No. The 3 rules of gun safety are the same rules that you would have to do to shoot any target. Don't load it, don't aim it, and don't shoot it or put your finger on the trigger. That's how the gun works. Glock has been the mainstay of firearms for about 30 years, especially in the United States, military, law enforcement, civilians. Keep going. Pull, 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 pull. Bam. Congratulations, you just cleaned your first barrel. Choo-choo train approach. So I got the train tracks and I got the train. Presto changeo. She's done. So pull all the way back and let go. There you go. Now point over there. See if it worked. Pull the trigger. Congratulations, you've passed your first function check. We saw it, we heard it, we felt it, and the trigger mechanism worked. Welcome to the AR-15. So you have a collapsible stock, you have a pistol style grip. You can use this gun just as easy as I can, except I'm going to use it when it's at this distance, and you would use it for your own comfort and ability at this distance. Does it work? Absolutely it does. When you pick it up, it's kind of like having a pet rattlesnake. It's pretty, but it's deadly. And if you do bad shit, it can happen. So you have to be a professional, and you have to be invested, and you have to be courteous, and you have to be kind, and you have to do all this stuff, because even if you use this 100% right, somebody's going to believe that it was wrong. If you don't have any intent to do ill will to other people, you're not a bad gun owner. The minute you get up and go, I'm going to go shoot somebody, well, that shit changed, and you might need to meditate on life a little bit. It's not the guns that are the problem, as it says. It's the dipshit holding the gun that's the problem. In the words of Spider-Man, great power comes great responsibility. The minute you pick this up, you're equal to everybody in the room, because you have the ability to do great and horrible things, depending on the side of the bullet you're on. And I was asked this in Iraq once, which was funny. A Bedouin asked me, "Are you a good man?" It depends on what side of the gun you're looking at. If I was pointing one at you, you wouldn't believe that I was a good man. If I was defending you from other people who were trying to point guns at you, you would probably believe that I was a good man. There's always two sides to the story. And depending on your perception, that is the reality that you're going to believe. So, there we go. If you think that you're ready, we'll go to the range. I'll bring the Desert Eagle 50 for shits and grins. And if you needed any more convincing about the gun nut level, bullets and bang bang. You ready? You excited? Mm-hmm. All right. Shooting, booting, looting, scooting, rooting, and tooting. And away we go. Come on. A box of 223 if you have it. Ear Pro right here and some eye pro. That means glassies. So you'll put these on your face. What y'all doing? Making noise?
Always.
Go ahead and put your purse right over there if you want. And start loading. Magazine in the magazine well. Tap. Rack. Safety's on. So there's the safety. With the safety on, it don't work. So I have to put the safety down. From that condition or position, I get out here, I see my front sight, right? My feet are toward the target, my ass is out like a supermodel. My thumb goes right here, and I'm holding on to my hand. Handshake with the gun, handshake with my hand. Safety comes off. I find that front sight and I bring it out there, and I put the front sight right in the middle of the gun, in the target. Bam. I haven't moved anything yet. My finger still hasn't got off the trigger. I wait for the gun to go up, down, back, forth, left, and right. I reassess that target. Front sight. Hell yeah. Squeeze in. Nice, bullseye. That's what I'm talking about. Is it? High five, hit it. That's awesome. All right, cool. Are you happy? Now you got to use both hands with this. Look at it with your right eye. Yeah! Gonna make your target go away? Yeah, that'll do you. There you go, there's your target. Boom. All right, you're ready. Presto changeo. Spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch. Everybody got everything that they had when they came in? Thank you, sir.
All right.
We're gonna go.
Have yourself a great one. Thank you.
All day, everything. That's the best part about this, is watching people, first-time shooters, because there's a lot of expectations and there's a lot of things that they didn't expect, and especially throwing a big gun like that into a little girl's hands, because a lot of teenagers and goddamn people that adults won't pick up that gun. So there's a misconception about, oh, it's gonna blow me backwards. Only if you were taught the wrong way, because she held the gun, she shot the gun like a champ. And I think that you saw a little bit of what the misconception might be, people at a gun range. There are people out there just blowing off steam, shooting off ammo, having a good time. In the right hands, it's awesome. In the wrong hands, it's horrible. If you're out there doing the next right thing, there's not a problem with it at all. This here on the left side of you is a 1960s era Hawk missile site. So during the 60s, this was an active missile battery. We used some of these old military buildings to do training in. Door training, kinetic entry type stuff, and just going in and laying a little hate, hell, and discontent because the buildings are still standing. They're great facilities for training. A lot of people say they know the law, or they know why Americans can have firearms. Well, that flag is every word in the Second Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. And it simply states a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the rights of the people. The rights of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That was the words of our founding fathers over 245 years ago. It's always been the law of the land. The Second Amendment is the keystone amendment to our governance in the United States. Our First Amendment is we have the freedom of speech. We have the freedom of religion. We have the freedom to peaceably assemble. We have the freedom to contest our government when we feel they're not doing the right thing. The Second Amendment gives us the ability to do that in any way, shape, and form, up to and including overthrow our government when we feel that they're not being rightful to its citizenship. It's in the mandate that we have the ability to overthrow you and remove you from office with force if necessary. It's right there. I don't know how many people are willing to do that anymore, but that little slogan that's staying, the Constitution of the United States, says that we have the ability to do that. Your governments, or who the hell ever, starts putting on these shows to keep you distracted. Figure out why they're trying to keep you distracted. It's probably not for your own good. You got to be able to keep those people in check. And if you have the ability to remove them or vote them out because they make bad decisions for you and your family or your friends or your people, please do so. If we found something that was worse than we are, that used us as a food source, or wanted to eradicate the entire human species from the planet, we wouldn't have any more damn problems. We wouldn't see each other as black, white, purple, green, blue. All of a sudden, we would come together and be this force to be reckoned with.